Hello everyone, happy Halloween. Celebration of the holiday. I'm drinking Witch's Brew wine. Really good stuff. Today I'm going to do my top 50 all-time death metal CDs that I own. And I'm just going to do one from each band, just to spread it out more. But let's just get going here. Like I said, these are the 50 that I own, and they're my personal favorites, so here we go. First up is Amorphis from Finland with Tales from the Thousand Lakes. This is a melodic kind of death metal with lyrics that are based on Finnish folklore from the book called the Kaleva, which is like a collection of poems and stuff. Pretty neat stuff. I like how they differentiate themselves from other death metal by doing something like that. Anyways, Amorphis. Up next I have Archspire with Relentless Mutation. These guys are so fast, so technical, and it's like unbelievable how fast they are. The drummer, the guitarists can do some amazing finger tapping stuff, and the vocalist is like a typewriter. I don't know how he does it. I mean, he is so fast. I mean, I bet he's doing like 300 beats per minute. I mean, just syllable after syllable, so fast. Some people may turn them off, but I kind of like it because it's a little bit different. And for being a technical death metal band, these guys know how to write good songs. And I don't know, they're just, you can memorize the songs, you know what's coming, and it's great. And hats off to these guys. I hope I get to see them on tour sometime. Next up I have Asphyx, Death the Brutal Way on Ibex Moon Records. It's just like, sort of like the band getting back together, all the members, or some of the original members back together in the band, and they just wrote a death metal album to show everybody how it's supposed to be done, and they do it right. Next up I have At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. I'm sure most people are familiar with this album. Melodic death metal that everyone and their brother has copied, it seems like. I don't hold anything against the band. It's not the band's fault that everybody copied them, but this is a very great guitar working, drumming. The singer uses high-pitched vocals, which is different from most death metal, which is usually deeper. But yeah, these guys are well known and just an incredible band. That's At the Gates, Slaughter of the Soul. Up next I have Ataraxy, As All Hope Fades. This band, this is on Dark Descent Records, and this band is from Spain. When I first got this album, I was thinking they're from Finland, but they're not. They're from Spain. They play like a doom type of style of death metal, a little bit doomy, and lyrics are interesting. They will in the vocals, they'll change from regular death metal vocals to more of a spoken word part in a couple songs, and they really do a great job with it. And the lyrics deal with death and vastness and emptiness, whatever happens after we die, who knows? Nobody knows. But this is for 2018, this is a really great album. Next up I have Behemoth. I'm not going to say the title because I always mess it up, but this is my favorite Behemoth album. To me, they really were firing on all cylinders with this one. There's a good variation of songs, speeds, tempos. With Behemoth, you always learn something when you read their lyrics and the notes, the linear notes with each song. Nergal researches this stuff, and with certain philosophers and books and things that he's read, and it's always very informative. The last song, Lucifer, is amazing. especially the solo. The solo comes out of nowhere and it's just great. And just, I think this is Behemoth's pinnacle. But anyways, great album. Okay. Up next here I have Cannibal Corpse with Vile. This is the first album Cannibal Corpse put out with George Corpsegrinder Fisher. And I think this is a great album. For some reason this always gets left out of great Cannibal Corpse albums. I mean, you could put many of their albums up there as really good ones with Tomb of the Mutilated and then Bleeding. But this is my favorite one. I come back to this one more than anything. And there's some just great songs on here. Just some, they really came into their own doing lead guitar work in this album. And Corpsegrinder is just amazing. This the song is playing, Puncture Wound Massacre, just awesome. Just throwing down. Just great song, great fun. Love this album. Vile by Cannibal Corpse. Up next I have Bloodbath, Nightmares Made Flesh. It's another Swedish death metal band. They call them a super group. I don't really care if they are or not. They've got people from Catatonia, Hypocrisy. Not sure where the other Dan Swano, who's been in like 50 bands. But this was kind of a surprise release for me. When I heard this one, I wasn't expecting it to really be that great. But man, once I heard it, this was awesome. Usually supergroups kind of turn me off a little bit, but this was the exact opposite. Peter Tegreton, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, from Hypocrisy, he did a great job on the vocals. And the one song that sticks out is Eaten. It's a funny song about cannibalism where the guy wants to be eaten. That's his dream, to be eaten. And anyways, just awesome old school Swedish death metal, and I love it. It's great. Next here I have Dead Congregation with Graves of the Archangels on Nuclear War Now. This is some pretty dark stuff. This is like if you took parts of Immolation and Incantation and put your own stamp on it, and this is what this band did. Some really dark stuff. Great songs from Greece. Kind of blasphemy type stuff, but really excellent death metal from Greece. Up next I have Bolt Thrower with Honor, Valor, Pride. I believe this is their second to last album that they put out. This is an English death metal band. They're like an institution of death metal. Just groovy songs. I mean, they just like a bulldozer, and it's a bulldozer that's running quite well. Just when you hear Bolt Thrower, you know it's Bolt Thrower. And yeah, good stuff here. This one's on Metal Blade Records. Awesome. Also on Metal Blade Records I have Broken Hope with Loathing. This one came out I think in '97, and this is a really interesting album. The guy who did the lyrics, I think it was Jeremy Wagner. He really took his time to make an interesting death metal album with songs about people being filled with formaldehyde. This one woman who is another song about Siamese twins. A guy who does some weird stuff with his mother. There's lots of weird stuff in here, but it's kind of interesting, kind of fun, and that's what I kind of like about death metal. I like it to be kind of fun. Sure, sometimes it's fun sometimes you like your music serious, but I think death metal should be fun. the music you should take serious because I believe they're very talented. But the music or the lyrics, it's okay if they're goofy a little bit. And that's kind of why I like death metal. It's kind of like just, I don't know. I'm rambling, but anyways, this is a really good album. Need to rehydrate here. Up next here I have Carcass with Heartwork. These guys are from England. This is an awesome, awesome guitar album. Bill Steer and the Hammett, I'm not sure which my Hammett is, Matt, Mike, Jeff, I can't remember the names. Anyways, just great guitar work on here. And this is my favorite Carcass album. Some people like the first 2 or 3 albums a lot, but I think this is where Carcass really stuck out. You know, I get it's in heavy rotation in my stereo system. Up next I have Cryptopsy with Whisper Supremacy, and this is just a brutal, heavy album. These guys from Quebec, and I think it's on Century Media, and I don't know, they're just brutal, and I enjoy it. Not much else I have to say about it. Next up I have Death Symbolic. Everyone knows Chuck Schuldiner and Death, but this is my favorite Death album. Gene Hoglan on drums, awesome. There's just great leads in here. Lyrics are awesome. Just yeah, there's nothing bad you can say about this album. Just amazing. This is actually the very first death metal album I ever purchased, so you can show when I got into the game. It wasn't until '95 that I started listening to death metal, but this was my very first death metal album I purchased, and it's been one of my favorites ever since. And it's a great album. Up next I have Deeds of Flesh, Reduced to Ashes. Deeds of Flesh is another band where I could have picked several other ones, but this was the one I came back to the most. I like Path of the Awakening a lot, and what was the other one I really liked? Inbreeding the Anthrophagy. I don't know how I say that. But anyways, that's a pretty good one too. They're all pretty good. Just brutal death metal, California. Just these guys kind of took over when Suffocation stopped putting out albums. When Suffocation stopped, these guys came in and they did a great job. Not to say that they sound just like Suffocation, they're original, but they came in at the right time when we needed them. I needed them. Alright. I don't know why this keeps stopping. Anyways, up next I have Deeds of Flesh. Oh, I don't have Deeds of Flesh. I just did Deeds of Flesh. Up next I have Deicide, Once Upon the Cross. And this album scared the crap out of me the first time I heard it. I was in school, I had the headphones on, and the first song, Once Upon the Cross, came on, and literally the hair on the back of my neck stood up. I never heard anything like that before. Scared the crap out of me, but I ended up loving it, and I love this album. This is just awesome, over the top, satanic death metal that will piss people off if they hear it, and I love it. The solos in this album are great. In fact, they sound like ghosts howling. I don't know if that's a good description for them, but they just nail them just right, and it's such a fun album to listen to. Up next I have Disincarnate, Dreams of the Carrion Kind, and just show everybody I have a Disincarnate hoodie on right now. Disincarnate, this is on Roadrunner. Last one was on Roadrunner. Roadrunner was really hitting on all cylinders early on in the 90s. This is just like probably one of the forerunners of technical death metal. James Murphy, excellent guitarist. He's been in so many bands, and he just adds to every band that he's in. Having James Murphy in your band is going to make your band that much better. And there's good leads in here, good death metal songs. And yeah, for like 25 years now he's been saying, well, maybe he hasn't been saying it, but for years and years he's been saying that he's going to put out a second one. He hasn't gotten around to it, but that's okay. James can do what he wants to do. But this is a really classic album. Up next I have Dismember, Like an Ever-Flowing Stream. This is a classic. What else can you say? From Sweden, their debut. This is what Swedish death metal should sound like, and them and Entombed get a lot of credit, and they deserve it. In fact, Nick Anderson from Entombed helped them out with the leads on this album, which are great. I mean, the first song, Override the Overture, and the last song, In Death's Sleep, great death metal songs. In fact, the intro to In Death's Sleep is just so amazing. I can listen to that part over and over again. Just a classic death metal album. Up next I have Dissection, The Storm of the Light's Bane. This is another classic guitar album. This is like just so phenomenal. It's like mixed between heavy metal, black metal, and death metal. And John Navid, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He was such a great songwriter. It's so sad that he's no longer with us. But man, this album is just the most beautiful guitar album I think I've ever heard. And when you listen to this album, you kind of feel like this guy. You feel like you're in the middle of some snow wonderland, and yeah, you feel like you're the Grim Reaper. And just awesome disc. That's Dissection, Storm of the Light's Bane. And last on this video, I have Dying Fetus, Destroy the Opposition. Dying Fetus is just a original band onto their own. I mean, they have some technical parts, some runs, some slammy parts, interesting like political type lyrics. You could say that they're almost like a grind band in that fashion, but it's not too political. You can still listen to it and enjoy it. Just a great band, and I was fortunate enough to see them. I've seen these guys 2 times, and they produce live just like they do on this album here. And so that's Dying Fetus, Destroy the Opposition.